Open your file. Before you can create a button, or before you create your button, you should put a stop command on the last frame of your animation. So let's go ahead and create a new layer, call it Actions. So that's the last frame of my animation. I need to put a keyframe, so F6. So the keyframe, first thing I want to do is make sure my animation actually stops here rather than looping. So right click, select Actions from the menu, F9. You don't have to type in any code. Animate has ready-made code for you to pick. So expand the Actionscript folder, expand the timeline navigation folder, and we want the animation to stop here. So double click on the stop at this frame. Close it before you type in anything accidentally. And you should have a squiggly line on top of an empty keyframe. Next thing I want to do is create a new layer. Call this button. And create a keyframe on the last frame again as before, and that's where I will place my button once I've created it. So in order to create a button, but before you do this, please test your movie. Make sure that it is actually stopping at this last frame. If it's not, then delete that keyframe on the actions layer and start over again. You may have made a mistake at some stage or at some point. So you want the movie to stop first. It's good practice. So make sure that works. Alright, to create a button, go to Insert, New Symbol. Make sure you select the button from the drop down menu and name your button. And it will be placed in the library. So I've created a button a little earlier. There it is. Pasted it in. So you can go ahead and take a part of your pattern and include it in your button if you like, or create it from scratch. Use the text tool, as I did, to write replay or play or whatever you want to write for your animation. But that's the button as it will appear. You can change the color, you can do all kinds of things to it. But I want that button as it appears now to be the first thing the viewer sees. So a button timeline is unique in the sense that it has an up, over, down and hit frame. So I'm going to go ahead and create keyframes for all four. So up is how it appears when the viewer first sees it, when the button first appears in the animation. Over is what it will look like when someone hovers over it with their pointer. So I will change this so that it's a little bit different. So it can, once you mouse over, it can change to this pinkish red. Down state is what it looks like when they actually click on it, which doesn't really matter because that's an instant split second duration. So, but I will change it just for the sake of changing it. Hit is, the viewer doesn't see the hit state, it's just basically the sensitive area of the button. If it's the same as the button, everything that the button consists of will be the sensitive area, meaning if someone hovers over the top, that's what it will be. Okay, so I'm going to add, because we've got a lot of white space in between the shapes there, I'm actually going to go ahead and add a bit of a rectangle here so that we have a little bit more area where people can mouse over. You won't see that. So that's the button. Add a new layer. That's the sound layer. So and I'm going to put an event sound on the down frame. So F6, F6, F6. So I'm going to select down. You can put sound on the over frame if you like, depending on the sound you pick. So that's my button sound. And when we go back to the timeline, you have to actually test the movie to see if that works. So click on your button keyframe, drag your button in, place it, place it where you want it to appear. So that's how the button will appear. You need to go to, you can test it, but it won't actually work because you haven't put any code on it yet. You will see it, you can test the sound of the button, but it will just stop there. So let's right click on the button keyframe, Actions, go to Code Snippets, and from the same area you can select Click to Go to Frame and Play. So basically this is a little code snippet where it tells when the viewer clicks on the button, it will actually go and play from frame 5. That's the default, but you can change this to frame 1. And close it and test the movie, make sure that the button's working, and that's it.